Nothing lasts forever. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. Now it's just too late, and we can't go back. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. I try not to think about the pain I feel inside. Did you know you used to be my hero? All the days you spent with me now seem so far away, and it feels like you don't care anymore. And now I try hard to make it. I just wanna make you proud. I'm never gonna be good enough for you. I can't stand another fight. Nothing's alright, 'cause we lost it all. Nothing lasts forever. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. Now it's just too late, and we can't go back. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. Nothing's gonna change the things that you said, and nothing's gonna make this right again. Please don't turn your back. I can't believe it's hard just to talk to you, but you don't understand. Cause we lost it all. Nothing lasts forever. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. Now it's just too late, and we can't go back. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. 'Cause we lost it all. Nothing lasts forever. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. Now it's just too late, and we can't go back. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect.
Delphink always to the rescue whenever I'm muted. Sorry. Hello. Hello, Delphink. Thanks for letting me know I was muted. This keeps happening to me. Hi. So, hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm sorry for the mute. Yeah, as I was saying before, we are currently on our sort of pause between animation streams because we are not going to be able to fully animate in the middle of the week because I feel like the amount of time we have is not that much, and I really want to spend the right amount of time working so that the animation turns out great. And that's why in the middle of the week, well, I'm trying to figure out what sort of thing to do in the middle, trying to I don't know, maybe watch videos, maybe chat a little bit, maybe talk about what we actually did, because there were like big chunks of time in the stream where I just fully locked in and I didn't get to even talk to anyone. I was just concentrating and keeping the hair in the same place. But yeah, maybe we could even chat a little bit about the animation, how it was made, what was the intention behind the little details that I usually hide in every shot. I think that would be fun. I've seen that someone sent stuff to a Discord yeah, there was a new stop motion short that we could take a look at, but I think it was Roman who sent it. So I'm trying to wait a little bit and see if Roman manages to join in tonight, so we can look at it together. Because, well, if Roman sent it, I guess he'd be interested in checking it out together. But in the meantime, we can, yeah, check all the stuff. Right now I'm just trying to see how it goes, see if anyone else logs in, and yeah, just, I don't know, we can try and sort out what to do tonight. I still haven't thought a lot of what to do in the middle, in this next couple of weeks that we're gonna be making the animation streams, but in between the animation streams, yeah, I'm not sure what to do, because I wouldn't like to also start working in another puppet. I feel like I would like to finish Evil and then we can get started. And I think the best option is to actually go for regular Neuro, for Neurosema, right after this. Roman's here. Hello. Hey. Hello, Roman. Good to see you. Great. So that's great. Then we can check out the video you sent us, and that's a great way to start tonight, and we can see where we go from there. All right. So let me just check real quick. Everything's fine with volume-wise. The music's okay, or do you feel it too loud, too soft? Because I will be changing the music right now for the video itself. Just want to make sure everything's properly set up, but we could figure it along the way. Well, yeah, now that you're here, Roman, I guess we could go. Let me just quickly, I'm gonna set up the link to Discord, just because I feel like some people, well, someone might want to join if we are talking about the Discord, or if someone wants to send anything, I can put it here. Oh, you haven't even watched it yourself? Cool, then we can watch it together. And okay, cool. So then let's go straight to that and check out that video you sent, which is the second part. We saw the first part in our first stop motion watch party, which unfortunately is not available to watch because I haven't removed the copyrighted parts, and yeah, I need to get that fixed. But we did, no, I think we checked it out even earlier. But yeah, we did check it in another stream. I think it was one of the first, preparing for Evil's animation then. Because yeah, the watch party was another one. We didn't spend, I remember this one we spent, that episode we spent a lot of time watching a Lego animation. And most of them were made actually by Roman, which was really cool. So yeah, and it might be somewhere out there the first part, when we analyzed the first part of this clips. But yeah, so right, here's the Discord, and that's the video that Roman sent us, which is the second part of The Creation of Life and the Consequences of Playing God, part 2 out of 3. So yeah, let's check it out and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to watch it, and the one where you did the duck. Oh, yes, then it was a Saturday stream. Now I remember. Hey, that was a fun stream. It's been a long time I didn't model anything, but right now there's no time to model stuff because printing and painting takes too long. All right, so let me get the video set up. And let's pause Swarm FM real quick. Wait. Right, so last time we saw there was this, it began with a little slime, and the slime then turned, well, it didn't turn into a robot, it started sort of inhabiting like a giant robot body. And once it started living in the body and starting to get the hang of how to control it, there was some sort of alarm, and the slime in the robot body escaped from some sort of Aperture Laboratories kind of testing facility, and it just ran towards the wall and escaped. I'm really excited for this because I remember last one, it was in a very closed space because it was this sort of testing site and it was just white walls all the way to the, yeah, just like a big white room. But this time it feels like we're gonna go and explore a little bit of the outside and making outside crazy robot body. Yeah, crazy giant robot body. But this time I'm excited because it feels, even from the thumbnail, it feels like this is gonna take place like outdoors, and that's much harder to pull off in stop motion because you either need a lot of space or you need to use very clever tricks to actually make the space feel even wider than it actually is. So that's another thing that has me a little bit excited to see how are they gonna sort out all the natural environment, especially when working with Lego, because, well, it's not a very natural element. I can see a couple of sort of fake plants hanging around, but it feels pretty interesting. So let's watch it. I'm gonna be pausing every once in a while because it seems like if I do that, it doesn't get me banned. But yeah, there are the videos in the Discord in case you want to watch it like straightforward, straight ahead. But all right, let's take a look. Let me see just how the volumes. Feels like it's okay, maybe a little bit louder. So last time we didn't even have any human characters, so this is interesting. There it is. Oh, now we have voice acting too.
So tired.
And I think it's very interesting how it's solving the same problem I told you that it's hard to pull off like larger spaces. They are sorting it out just with pure darkness. Good thing that it's sort of a nighttime scene, and let's hope the stream doesn't explode. The last time we looked at this sort of animations, we didn't have an issue. It was more with more official stuff. We even sort of weirdly leaked the interview of women wearing shoulder pads, and there was no problem with that one. It was only the music videos and some for some weird reason the GD Dreamcast short that got us blasted. But we'll see. But yeah, so I like that the way it solves the space not feeling as vast as it should be because it's sort of a forest or like a wider natural space, is that it's just solving it with darkness. So even though it's clear that there's nothing up here, the idea of it being nighttime and it's just slowly making this gradient towards black is enough to trick your mind and make it feel like it's a vast space. I'm not sure even if this is a wall already or if it's just like a green ground that extends a little bit further and then it's just a shadow. But it helps sell the idea of it being much bigger than, well, any room you'll find in any house. So all right, I'm liking that. And I also like I found it interesting that there's a little bit of voice acting. I'm not sure if it's gonna be full voice acting or if it was just like snippets. Yeah, because you can kind of get voice clips for very specific sounds like this. Oh, what the hell? Oh, I'm tired. Very neutral. Let's see if it's actually recorded or if they're like voice clips mashed together to make something interesting. I really like the design of the character being huge, and also look at this, like adding this sort of foreground elements also makes the scene feel much bigger. And this time I see like there's more of an abstract background with sort of paint smudges back here, and it feels like a forest, right? It doesn't feel fake or incomplete. There's the walking cycle. I feel like this character has to be very complicated to make walk. I can see how it struggles a little bit balancing from one side to the other. I really like the detail that you can see this branch being shaken a little bit. This is clearly intentional because it moves in the same direction as the body, and it goes back. Takes 2 frames to move outwards and then another 2 frames to move inwards. 1, 2, 1, 2. And yeah, that's more than enough to make it feel like it's actually being slightly moved gently instead of just like one mistake that there was a bump in the table and that sort of thing. Had a little obscure fan-made anime trailer on my channel that was up for over a decade, get blasted by copyright, I think, to the film, unexpectedly getting a limited USA theater. Oh wow. I guess that sometimes happens. Sometimes the algorithm must be looking for some specific things more than others, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, all this using content from different sources can get very tricky, but I feel like we can bit by bit start getting the hang out of it. But yeah, I can see the complexity. Because another issue I see this guy has, oh, now I'm writing on the search bar, no, is that the legs itself cannot rotate like by itself. There's just 2 angles of rotation in this joint, and all the additional movement that you get from the twisting of the knee, or well, the twisting of the leg itself, they're pulling it out with rotating the full body, which it's not that it's wrong, but it's sort of shows how limited the body is to move around. Because it has another joint in the middle, which allows it, yes, you can see how the torso. But yeah, it has to make like this very wide hip movements from one side to the other and makes it feel a little bit clunky, which might be part of the character itself, because it's a robot, or it's a slime trying to figure out how to work the crazy robot body, but it is a little bit of a struggle. I've worked with that sort of clunky characters, and you need to sort it out on the fly, and it can get very, very interesting, but also very tricky, like managing to see how do you make it feel like it's not a movement limitation, but actually a character trait, or maybe quality or personality, that sort of things. There's also a cut to a medium shot, which pretty well. Here you can see the background a little bit better, and I really like how it works. It feels very abstract, but good enough to work around it. Yeah, I really like how that mouse moved. Very organic, even though it's a single solid piece of plastic. Also, this one, the shorts, even the last part, they're very good with sound design. They're really good. Ooh. I really like that trick of making it feel like the leg was inside the water. Though I think it would have been... I'm not sure if this joint could have not been here and make the full slime go into the... I'm not sure if it wouldn't balance properly, but I feel like that would have made it feel a little bit more like part of the water. But I really love those little effects, like little sprinkles of water. And yeah, that was more of a faster trick. You don't see the leg pulling out, it's just a cut between one and the other. I understand that, especially because this is a huge piece of plastic. If it was made of different pieces, maybe you could animate like 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece, but this is one single solid piece of plastic, so there's no way to make that sort of transition. The reflection. I really like how they use these effects, these little practical effects of just little droplets with simple pieces. Works really well. There's the owl that we saw in the thumbnail. Now he speaks. Oh, I love that sound. Huh. That's a very interesting. I think I haven't seen this character move its face. It's like rotate the head in the way it just did. Like here, it's probably just slight moving in the piece itself, but wait, here it moved a little bit more. Yeah, this tilt in the head feels very, very good. It feels very natural. It gives it a lot of character. It's just a very slight movement, but it gives you the idea of it being thinking about something or trying to figure stuff out. And I'm not sure if I saw anything like that before. Huh. Also, that flying effect was interesting. I like the reflection on the face. These hands are really cool. They work very well. Yeah, when you think of how to like add a little bit of an extra punch with whatever you have in the environment, it really gives it a lot of life. It makes it feel more like it's not a prop, like it's an object that's placed there for a reason. Maybe not nothing that you can see during the animation itself, but at least you can understand. Well, in nature, it's even more complex because stuff isn't there for a reason. It just is because that's how it's been. Like the puddle is just there because maybe it rained, but it makes it feel natural to have these elements and to have those elements be something that interacts with the character. And that sort of thing is very complicated with the stop motion animation because you need to plan them. The puddle itself, it's a prop and it's something that you need to think about and break down and try and sort how you're going to make it before. Well, when you barely have it in the script, is when you sort of sort it out. Well, you have to sit down and think, how am I gonna make whatever I need to do possible with whichever elements I have? Because also there's the bigger element that this has the goal of using mostly Lego pieces, and that's another, because if it was made of plasticine, maybe the puddle would be easier to like sculpt down and merge the leg going into the water and stuff. But because it has to keep the same tricks, but using only Lego pieces, well, you have to adapt and try to find solutions to keep the style and keep the art in the same direction where you as you want it to move towards. All right.
Wow.
Quick cut. Yeah, like this one, the simple movements are working really well, and I feel like it's slightly breaking with the Lego geometry, but it's just like putting a little ball of putty under the head is enough to make it tilt and feel organic when it rotates down and up. And I really like how he scuttles backward.
Wow.
The tricky part with this character, now that I see it, is that he cannot bend his knees. And that's gotta be very hard to animate because this green ooze knees, well, they're a single piece of plastic and you cannot bend them. You have to do the trick with either the joint that's back here and the joint that's down here. And it's not that it's impossible, but it's hard to sell the movement in the middle of the slime, and you should actually have more movement in the slime because it should be the most flexible part on the body itself,
Whoa,
right?
You're huge.
Oh, so there is
Hello.
voice acting.
My name is Matthew. You can talk? That is so cool. Yeah. Do you have a name? Yes? No?
No.
Okay, can I give you a name?
Yes.
How about Bob?
No.
No? Maybe James?
No. Maybe.
Timothy, Mark, Liam, Albert, Stephen, Nathan, Jonathan, Calvin. You like Jonathan?
Jonathan.
Well, I like Jonathan.
I like Jonathan.
Awesome. Well, nice to meet you, Jonathan.
That's a very cool, very subtle movement.
Awesome. Well, nice to meet you, Jonathan.
It's such a subtle and simple move, but it really sells a lot of
Awesome.
life.
Well, nice
it
to meet
feels
you,
organic. I
Jonathan.
really love wrist movements. Wrist movements it really does miracles for animation. And the
Would you
thing-
like to...
I wish that shot lasted a little bit longer. It cuts in the middle of the movement. Yeah, I think it should have stopped here and maybe held for a couple
like
of
to play
frames
together?
extra.
I like to see how far I can throw rocks into the lake. I can throw it pretty far, but I bet you can throw it a lot farther than I can. Wow, that was amazing!
Wow,
I've
you
never
almost
thrown a
killed that guy.
rock that big before. I tried to pick up one that was that big once, but I hurt my hand trying to do it.
You're not gonna address the guy who almost died.
Hurt?
Yeah, hurt. It's like a pain you feel when you break part of yourself.
It's works. Just such a simple wrist.
Yeah, hurt. It's like a pain you...
Also, I like the fact that now it's starting to play with different faces. Goes from this one to this one, and it's very clean. Can't even see, like, look at the hair and the head, and it doesn't feel like it moved a lot. Because I had to remove the hair, put the other head in, and put the hair back on. And it feels incredibly clean. But yeah, what I wanted to see,
feel
like this
when you break-
simple. The fun thing with Lego hands is that you don't even know which. If you do it fast enough, it doesn't even read, or you can't register which side it's going to. But
You break
it doesn't really matter because it's enough just to.
part of yourself.
The movement gives the idea of it's just making an expression with his hand.
It doesn't.
You don't
fit.
have to fully articulate with fingers. It's just enough, like the hand is moving, and that plus talking already communicates the idea of it simply
Me
being
and my
part of an
friends like to
expression.
fight this broken wall. We pretend that we were whoever built it a long time ago. Hey, do you think you can lift up this log and pick the wall back up?
I find it interesting that
And pick the wall
for this shot, you barely notice it, but
back up?
I kept the one leg up just so it would be easier to turn around and make the expression of him swinging from one side to the other, so he speaks from watching the, what is this, a column? And twisting towards Jonathan.
Thanks for helping. That was so easy.
Help?
Yeah, helping is like doing something good for another person and it makes them feel happy.
Happy.
I've never been up this high in a tree before. I climbed a really tall tree one time to look inside a...
Yes, both hands and faces are incredibly important when animation. It communicates a lot. And right next to that, I would say shoulders, most likely. Shoulders are also very good at expressing more subtle things, but if you use them properly, it feels a lot also like there's either surprise or sadness behind whatever your character is doing. Although having proper shoulders that actually manage to express like full range of emotion and of movement is very hard. It's not easy to make the whole range of movement, especially with silicone puppets. The silicone will pull back, and usually it's hard to actually reach the point where it actually feels like the shoulders are either curling forwards or back.
Bird's nest, but then I almost fell and my mom got mad at me.
Bird?
Yeah, a bird. You know the little animals that fly around and have wings like this?
Who?
That's the sound an owl makes. Did you see one?
Ow.
That's so cool. I've only seen an owl once before, probably because they only come out at night.
Night?
Night is when the sun goes down and things get really dark. But when it's dark, you can see things like the moon and the stars.
Star?
I like the movement. I really like those
Things
fingers.
like the moon and the stars.
They're just a single piece, but it feels a lot like actual fingers, even though there's no other joint in the
Stars.
middle.
Star?
Yep,
Stars.
all of those little twinkling dots up there, they're all stars.
Amazing.
I've had a fun day, Jonathan. Are you from around here? Like, in the forest?
No.
Where did you come from?
Endless white.
Endless
Is
white.
that your home? Are you gonna go back there?
No.
Well, you don't have to go back if you don't want to.
What is purpose?
I don't know. I don't know what my own purpose is. I wake up every day and I get to choose what I want to do at that moment, and I think that's kind of cool. That moment, and I wake up every day and I get to choose what I want to do at that.
I like this one. This is a very complex movement just for the chatter. It's a slight twist from one side to the other while the hand is going up and down. It feels much more elaborate than it really is, and it
I
feels
don't
more
know.
alive.
I don't know what my own purpose is. I wake up every day and I get to choose what I want to do at that
Well,
moment, and I think that's kind
Yeah,
of
it
cool.
feels very organic.
You get to decide what you want
One
to do. I'm
little
working
twist
my way to
and
become a
turn.
firefighter one day so I can help people. I don't.
It's like how he sort of moves from one side to the other,
I'm working my way to
I-
become a firefighter one day so I can
which
help
is
people.
probably, yeah, like this sort of thing. Because they're working within the limits of the plank of green Lego that's in the bottom, but only that extra swing that it gets, it's enough to make it
I
feel
don't
like he's
think
talking.
That's what my purpose is, but it's what I feel called to do. Anyways, I gotta head home. Will I see you tomorrow?
Don't know.
That's okay. I'm glad I met you, Jonathan. Goodbye.
Again, that little hand twist. So I'm wondering, I guess it doesn't have a wrist. Because this movement is made out of it's not even the elbow, but it's like slightly, yeah, it's sort of in the middle of the forearm that it's getting this movement and the twist. I was doing it all the way from the slime back here. There's a mouse again. Oh no, that's a bird. Oh, what? When did they find it? I can barely read this. Like the tip of the. Oh yeah, those guys look like the hunter that was going for. Jonathan episode 1. Ooh.
No hurt.
Okay.
Need I remind you that we are in this mess because of you? Carter, block his number. Block any other way he tries to contact.
I like that acting.
Need I remind you that we are in this mess because of you?
It's a good way to cut. Like it makes it feel like you saw the whole conversation, but you only got to see a little snippet in the end. And it's a nice transition to the
Carter,
other
block
scene.
his number. Block any other way he tries to contact us.
And this one's got really good acting itself with the movements of the general anger, movement of the hands. I mean, Lego figures are very limited, but it's enough to make it feel like it's annoying. And also I like the fact that they're changing between open and closed mouth. It's fully open, but the teeth, the grin.
Please tell me you have good news.
Is that a different? No, this is digital. But it would have been interesting if this was like another piece with some sort of scratch to make that little, make it feel like it's moving.
Just say.
This is looking really cool. Not sure where the story is going though. I mean, I know that they're trying to catch Jonathan, but they've only got one more episode to wrap the story up, and that feels a little bit hard unless it's a very, very long episode. I don't know what Jonathan is or who the endless white people are.
No.
And Jonathan still doesn't know what he wants to do. What is his purpose?
Because of you. Other way. Mayors, please tell me you have good news.
That looks good. Alright, well, let's hope for episode 3 and see how it does. Let's put a like. Iron Giant, yes, the story feels a lot like Iron Giant, but I feel like there's something more here. Like there should be something that we still don't know between the fact that it's a slime, because it's sort of it's not fully a robot. It has some organic component, and I feel like that organic component was going to make it important in the end, like this bridge between nature and machine. I think it's gonna be I think it goes in a very interesting direction, but we'll have to see where it's going towards and how it wraps up. We don't have a lot of characters to work with. There's like the hunter, there's that big corpo guy, now we know about Major or something. And there's a kid, and that's it. Sergeant Mayers, yeah. That looks great. Cool. Let's see. How long do you think it would take them to? How much time passed? Well, they only took a month between the other episode and this one. So maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe a month, we'll see the end to the consequences of playing God, which also it's a very ambitious title. Like, it feels very philosophical. So it also gives me like the vibe that it's going for something very, I'm not sure if dark's the right word, but something, I don't know, very complex. And I'm not sure how they're gonna sort that out in one more video. Well, this one's it's much longer than the other one. So maybe this one's gonna be, the third one could be even twice as long as this one. Which sounds like enough time to explain everything I feel like they wish to explain, but I guess we'll see. But cool. Right, let's try and see how it does. Let's see if in a couple of weeks or months we can see the epic conclusion to the creation of life and the consequences of playing God. Alright. So cool. That's that. In the meantime, oh yeah, I thought it would be fun if we looked at what we did last week. Oh no, what we did on Sunday. I have the video. Give me 1 second. Where did I save it? It's here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. So most of you already saw this animation. It's one we didn't last Sunday, but now that we have a little bit of extra time and that I'm sitting down on the computer instead of running around from one side of the workshop to another, we can actually look at it a little bit more carefully. I just wanted to break down a little bit of why I did some things that I did. But I like how it turned out. So let's see. But I can frame by frame it here. If I can't, it's gonna be. Yeah, there's no frame by frame. There has to be an option, right? No. Right, so I don't know if we have like a frame by frame tool, but at least we could sort of scroll around and I can talk about small details. For example, here there are a lot of the Hermund Field natural influence. Yes, I was just about to talk about the hair. Hello, Robot. Good to see you around. So yeah, the hair. I feel like the trick with making hair feel so natural. E key. Oh yeah. So E, and is there a back? What am I doing? Oh no. What? Now how do I go back? Okay, well, at least we can go forward. No? Okay. All right. Oh, there it goes. All right, so yeah, the trick with making the hair feel alive, which it's also very hard because the doll itself is a little bit hard to pose and stay in place. I remember having a lot of trouble back here, but I think the most important element to make it feel like it's actually moving. Yes, it turned out great. I really liked how it. What sells a lot the movement is having the exact moment where the hair snaps from one side to the other. Hair almost always, well, it's either straight when it's not moving at all, or it has either an S shape or a C shape. And if you play and alternate between them, it's very easy to make them feel extremely fluid. Now the hard part once you start moving them is getting to a point where you can let them still. Because it also feels weird once they stop. If you just do it suddenly, it can feel like it just got frozen. It sort of feels like that a little bit here, but I feel like it's also frenetic that it's hard to perceive. You can feel how it slows down and it stops. Yeah. And so there's a little detail that I don't love. That's one of, yeah, this thing moved out of the blue. The little bow on the hair it moved, but it wasn't part of any other movement. It just moved randomly here. Exactly there, the head isn't moving at all, and it just bounces downwards. Weird that it has next frame, but not previous frame. That's really weird. This is something I like a lot, like changing mouths. I'll have to wait. Whenever you're making, especially this sort of sounds, it doesn't have to be random evil Aberdemon sounds, but with that sort of stuff like singing or just using a very long vowel where the meaning can, well, not the meaning, the emphasis in a single sound can vary a lot. That's where I really love using the exchangeable faces, because it gives you this feeling that it's the same letter and it's just giving it the extra punch it needs for all the air that's coming out of the mouth. Like, yeah, here, this little expansion. So, yeah. That's a little effect I always love to use, and it's also guided by the sound itself. Like, I'm listening. That's a good thing with Dragonframe. I can listen to the same thing over and over and see, all right, so it's going to it's going to sound a little bit harder in the next 4 frames. So let's try and move towards having the bigger mouth in the next one, and then the bigger mouth. And the one that I didn't think would work. The one that really worked better, well, I thought it might not work, but it ended up working all right, and I liked how it turned out, was the, what was it? Wait, oh, the A. Yeah, like going from O to the A, because it's a different style of mouth. The other ones is just a single color, and you have like the little abstract pointy anime teeth, and this one it's more standard. These are the first mouths that I made for the original clip. So I made simple teeth and tongue, but it's a separate color and didn't have the little fang because Evil didn't have this before. So I ended up designing them like this, and I was thinking that maybe it wouldn't match, but it ended up matching pretty well. And I like the effect. Like, it feels like she opens the mouth as much as she can. I feel like if I had enough time, I would like to actually make an even more exaggerated mouth, like a big, as wide as possible A sound for screams and this sort of things that I think would end up selling this very well. And also here, the little OU, it's the same thing. You have this vowel in hello, oh, and the OU, you can use the same flexibility of the mouth and play with the OU and just, yeah, alternate the 2 little faces, and it feels very organic. Oh, I just missed it. Hello. Oh, this is hello. to a consonant and straight to the, and this is the fast movement to make it feel a little bit more frenetic and more energetic and crazy. And then we pull back again, just the same energy of the scream itself going back. Also, I liked how it turned out, the little movement in the hand. Like, at first we have the hand just doing nothing, it's back here, simply making the illusion that she's grabbing the camera. But here, when for starters, it pops in and it gives this feeling of like the energy of her tensing up, calling up, like building this energy up to release the scream. And then when she's making the even harder accent over here, just the little squeeze in the fingers makes it also feel like she is putting a little bit more effort there. Also, it's usually good to have stuff moving a little bit. Makes it feel intentional. Feels intentional. I think that's because I sort of fixed it on the fly. Because if it wasn't... Yeah, because what happened is that I ended up adding the... I feel like I saw that it started moving and I already shot the frame. And because I was already in the next frame, and it's over here, yeah, so it twisted, and then I just did a little bit of slow out, just so it didn't feel like it simply moved in one single frame. Made it feel like it was part of a movement, and that helps it at least not feel like it's jumping randomly. And that's one of those things that I feel like I've become very good at noticing, because I've checked so many shots with a lot of different moving elements that I can usually just notice if something moved like out of nowhere. I can see it and it's like, okay, we can at least sort of fake it if we move it slightly more and then back, instead of simply having stuff moving for one single frame. When stuff only moves for one frame, that's when it feels like it was a mistake. So that's how I sort of avoid it. You know, the only thing that I'm not sure on, and I think it's got more to do with the lighting, but I feel like the color of her hair feels more like Neuro's color instead of Evil's, even though we made sure that the hair was darker tone than the one we had before. But I think it's got to do with the lighting, because it has a very big light right on top, and maybe the intensity was too harsh, and it feels, yeah, less like dark brown and more like caramel. Another thing, it works right now, but I think that I will want to check it out and try and fix it later on. Not right now. I feel like it would be too much work to fix it digitally, but I made this little holes around the eye, just so I could poke it with a needle and move the eyes around. It made my life much easier when I had to make the eyes like move in a certain direction. But you might notice here that when I drilled the little hole, which I did with a very little hand drill that I bought, it kind of damaged a little bit the edge, so you can see it running into the eye back here. It's very subtle. I feel like it's not even noticeable if I don't tell you, but it's one of the things that I wish I could fix eventually, like for maybe when we make new eyes for Neuro, we can also make a couple of new spare eyes for Evil. Also, I like to try and make different eyes, like making normal eyes, but eyes with a very wide pupil, like for her to feel excited, or maybe even like if she was going to cry or something, and maybe having one with a very, very small pupil, just so it feels like she's either impressed or scared. That sort of thing also is really good for expressions, but I feel like it's going to be very hard with these eyes because they are not like single. Well, usually I work with magnets on top of the eye, but this time they're complete balls, like spheres. So I would need to remove the hair, remove the face, take out the eyes, replace them with the eyes with a smaller or larger pupil. But oh, star eyes and heart eyes. Yes, 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 I could also do those. You're right, you're right. I've seen that she has star eyes in, I don't know in which clip we could find them, but I know she has. Yeah, star eyes would be fun. You know what I thought, I did think sometime, I don't know when, back before I started streaming, like when I was working on the first video for her birthday, that the star eyes could be made, like if I print a separate piece for the star and put it like on top of the eye, sort of floating in front of the pupil. I'm not sure if that would work or if I should just paint it in the bottom, but I feel like I like the idea of having it feel three-dimensional on top of the eye itself. But we could explore that once we start making new eyes. Eyes are very fun. They're kind of like it's can be a little bit too much work, but I think it turns out great, and I really like the how much expression you can pull out of these eyes. Yeah, the first reason why I started to work with Eevee was because I wanted to test the sphere eyes, and I'm really happy with how they turn out. It does take some time, but I feel like I could get the hang of how to make this work. And if I do, I think we're gonna be able to make very, very expressive puppets in general. Could also be the background color tricking your eyes. Ah, yeah, you're right. Also, the red in the background might make it feel slightly less... yeah, like not as dark. But yeah, I really liked how this turned out. Now there is a mistake. Now I can see it. In the microphone here, close to the end, there's a a single frame where the mic kind of twists. I think it's over there. Yeah, there's like a little shake close to the end. You see it? Like, I feel like it can be sold as part of the movement, but yeah, it's definitely a mistake in my eyes. Here it goes back, forward, and back again, and then it just moves with the hand. But that small shake feels incomplete. It feels weird. Also, I like the range we managed to get out of the neck. Because remember, I told you that the neck was scaring me a lot with how much movement we could pull out. But I mean, it does feel flexible. Like she's looking up, she's looking down, she's twisting, she's rotating. I feel like we can do some interesting things with her, even though her neck might be a little bit weird. Also, I have to be careful with this sort of frame. I know it's a single frame most likely, but I don't like to have like the boldness of her inner face be too explicit. It makes it feel like a doll. Another neat trick that's really good for making puppets feel alive and less like a doll is playing with the pupils. Like the fact that the head can move, but the eyes sort of look in the same direction. That's a very natural thing. If you look, I don't know, if you're looking at a screen right now, you can twist your head around and keep looking at the screen. And that's something that we do naturally, right? Our eyes align naturally to whatever we're looking towards, and even if we move our head very slightly, because we usually move our head slightly when we are talking, like a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, maybe up and down. But our eyes stay fixed in a single thing if we're concentrated in that thing. In fact, I think you can even get dizzy if you try and instead of looking at a specific thing, like leave your eyes to follow your head and try and make sure that your eyes are following your head movement, you'll actually get a little bit dizzy. I'm actually working on the Bald Evil clip. I didn't want to spoil it, but I am actually working on the Bald Evil clip. But you see you already saw the time it's taking to make stuff, but I definitely want to make that. The bolt clip is one of them, my high priorities in clips to animate with her. However, I still need a couple extra details to figure out. The good thing is that we already have a bald head, because it's the one that we used for her birthday animation, so we already have that one. But yeah, give me a little bit more time to cook, because it's gonna be really fun if I pull it off. But you'll have to wait. But trust me, I am working on that one. They'll think the things noticed only after dozens and hundreds of rewatches. Yeah, or the things that you notice once when you've made it. You know where to look at the details. Also, this eye has a little blob back here. Not sure if you can see it on stream. And I think it's just a defect from the resin itself. Like the casting itself had either a bubble or some other thing. I hope the mold isn't damaged. But yeah, I think we could. Well, no, I mean, I think we'll have to roll with this, but eventually we can make her brand new eyes and make them even prettier. Even though I really love how the eyes work, like the way the eyes light themselves up because of the simple geometry and how light bounces inside. It really makes the eyes feel very bright, doesn't it? Like this is the shot just as I pulled it out of the camera, and I feel like it has the feeling, it feels like I sort of made a little glow up effect in this section of the eye, but it's not a digital effect. It's just the effect of the light bouncing inside the sphere that makes it feel brighter. And I'm really loving that effect. I feel like if I learn how to make good use of that sort of effect, I'm going to be able to make very, very, very expressive characters. Let's see. Remember someone saying Neuro's ability to keep looking at tracking Vidal in Minecraft added a lot to the feel of her seeming attentive and controlled as he talked to her. I never even, because I didn't see a lot of the Minecraft clips very carefully to observe all of that stuff. Yeah, I don't even remember seeing Neuro, or maybe I just didn't notice that Neuro was fixed in specific players. Can't see the defect on it. Yeah, well, but I do have the images in stunning 4K resolution, so I will be able to notice them. And I know it's not very noticeable, but I'm trying to make it. I mean, the general idea is not to make just something pretty enough. I like the idea of trying to improve on making stuff as good as possible. So even if it's like a small defect that might not be noticeable in a video, I would like to try and see if there's an easy way to avoid this sort of things to make the eyes more perfect. Because I just have this feeling that if I manage to sort out how to make the eyes as perfect as possible, it's gonna be they're gonna feel like incredibly expressive characters, and I'm really, really striving for that. I would love to have all of my puppets feel this alive. I mean, even this is more alive than most of the puppets I've made myself before. And even then, some of the puppets that I animated that were like professionally made, just the little eyes, they're working incredibly well. Just need to. I feel like it's a little philosopher's stone here that if I sort it out, it's gonna be amazing. Watching. Roman says you did basically an exact replica of an actual eye. Of course, it looks good. Yeah, it ended up looking really great. I'm very proud of this, and I hope. But I feel like I'm not there yet. I feel like there's just still a couple of details that need to be sorted out, and trying to see how to make stuff as good as possible, just to make them absolutely stunning eyes. And if I do that, I feel like it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be great. And I feel like we're gonna be able to make it. It's just a bit of time and elbow grease, but I don't know. Probably even Nero herself might already have much better eyes than Evil. That's something I noticed until pointed out. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Dolphin. Maybe the blobs in the eyes or the little balls, but yeah. I know at the end of the stream, too many mistakes. I had it deletes the file. Nah. Oh no, I've gone through so many. I feel like that's something that I did run up with, like hating my work and not liking it, but you also end up learning that yeah, your work's not gonna be perfect, and there's always stuff that's gonna be like not great, but even if it's not great, it's still very, very good. You have to think like in the grand scale of things. Like most people haven't done animation in general in their life, not even 2D, 3D, anything. So you don't need to be so harsh on yourself, but just make sure that you keep learning from those things that you perceive as mistakes. That's it. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Just take notes and make it better. Make sure that every animation you make will be worse than the next animation you're gonna make. And if you do that and just stay positive, you'll just keep moving slowly and steadily. Once painted a guitar, there was a lot of clear coating, sanding, and polishing in order to make it look like glass. But there's probably an easier technique for eyes. Yes, I feel like you also need to figure out like different resins and materials for the eye, because I'm using actually, like for this eyes, I used a very old epoxy resin that I have lying around, because most of what I did with Evil was like sorting stuff out from my basement. You know, like it's okay, so I have this container of resin that's from 3 years ago, and I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but it's my only chance. And that's how I ended up with this size. I used the epoxy resin. It was from a woodworking project that I have like 5 years ago or so. So the resin probably not in the best state possible, and I also feel like it's not perfect for glass-like things because it has a very slight yellowish hue. It's not enough so it's noticeable, but yeah, if I ever manage to actually get like a better budget and I can invest in proper materials, I would love to experiment using like a resin that's made to be crystal clear, and that would be really cool. I know that you're talking about painting a guitar. There's also something, well, I think you'll have to wait a little bit for that, but we're going to talk about painting guitars eventually, just because of something I've been working on too. Best way to find errors in any art is to put it down and not look at it for... Yes, that helps a lot too. The only thing is that it's something that you cannot do that often when you're animating, because you cannot like take a frame and then take a break of 20 minutes and go back and take another frame, and that will make it even longer than before. But I do notice that whenever I have like a lunch break, or I go, or if it's like just going to sleep and looking at it the next day, you'll notice that for starters it's usually much better than what you remembered, yes. And yeah, like the mistakes might still be there, but it's something that only you notice if you really, really, really focus on it. I know that there's a lot of stuff here that if I didn't tell you, you simply would have never seen it. Like the blob in the eye. The spots maybe, but this blob, it's very, very hard to notice. And yeah. I use spray paint from a can. Have no idea how it worked. Yeah, spray paint can be very, very complicated sometimes. Like sometimes you need to spray it like in thin layers, and sometimes you have to do like a lot. It depends on the type of spray paint. It depends on sometimes the color, the brand. Yeah, they're very picky. What? I've been painting something lately. When I used a lot of spray paint. What was it? I remember. Wasn't the question mark nor the skulls. What was it? I was painting something. Yeah, I remember. Oh, it was a present. Made a little birthday present for someone, and I had to spray paint like every single piece, and it's very tricky. The other thing that I would like to learn how to do better with spray paint is to mask stuff. Because what I try to do is I try to make a mask either with masking tape or whatever, but once you spray it, if you wait too long to remove the mask, you're gonna leave, like it's gonna tear apart and it's gonna break in like shards. But also if you do it too soon, then it's gonna drip down and be like very messy, and it also doesn't work. So you have to be like just at the right time to remove the mask and have it feel like, yeah, well, keep the shape that whatever you wanted it to be for the mask itself. Something romancers, that is something I do when I draw. When I work too much in a drawing, yes, with drawing it works a lot too. The fast way to do that is the classic flipping, like mirroring an image and see it mirrored, and then you can also spot like little defects and stuff. But also just leaving it for a little while and coming back to it helps you notice either those things that wherever there are mistakes, or wherever there are things that you might feel like they're a problem, but once you actually see it, it's not really that much of an issue. There was something I wanted to show you just now that you mentioned it. Oh, I could show you legally, maybe, like one of the shots that I hated the most back when I was working in Frankelda, because I feel like it's public. And let me remove that. I think it's somewhere around here. I know it was published. Let me see. Maybe if I Google the name of the song. Yeah, here it is. Let's see. I'm gonna mute this because I'm not gonna get blasted, but you can see it. I can send it in the Discord if you wish to see the whole thing. But yeah, there was one shot in this song that really... I animated most of this episode. But I didn't animate the ghosts. I only animated the physical scenes. I think it's this shot, the one I hate. Even though I loved the beginning of this shot was very complicated and it was very hard to plan around it, because most of the elements in the shot weren't even made yet, and there wasn't like a very clear storyboard behind. So all of these ghosts, they were animated months after I did the... I don't mind the little book and the subtitles because that's not part of the episode, but we did everything without planning or without knowing what was going to be in scene. So I had to sort of compose the image. Well, at least I made the disclaimer that it's legally maybe. I'm not sure. Hopefully we don't get blasted. I'm gonna try to pause a lot. That's why I'm just gonna show you a shot, because I believe that if we just analyze one shot, it's most likely not gonna be a very long... I don't feel like we're gonna be getting into trouble. It would be very crazy if I get into trouble for playing like 3 frames of music. But yeah. So most of this, no full screen. Most of this wasn't animated in the... Well, it wasn't made, so I didn't even know what was going to happen. So I had to sort of sort things out with the space that I had. But for starters, I feel like I didn't have enough space to actually act with this big character, because even though he's pretty big, like in this part, It's a bit awkward how much of the empty space on top of him is just I don't know, it's a very awkward framing. Like he's got the camera right up in his neck and I don't like that. And yeah, I had to do it a lot on the fly and had all these beats. I had this part. I remember this part I didn't even act it. Here I had a little bit of a clash with the all the ghosts would have been added after. Yeah. They were made later on. The ghosts were kind of the last thing that was made. I remember because all of them they were made in green screen. So they just set a green screen and animated all of them separately. It was both this and the kids swimming, and there's an episode that's underwater, and all the underwater kids are also done in green screen. So I remember they made like a very little closet-sized unit for animating all those green screen stuff, and that was part of the very last stuff that was made in here. But I remember I even animated this, and I had a little bit of a, not, how would I say, not really an argument, but I didn't catch quite what they wanted here, because just a little bit of context. This girl just make like a deal with the devil, and the devil, well, he's more like the boogeyman, but it's like this sort of Faustian gamble. And she made a deal with him, and now he stole her talent for playing an instrument. So she is her talent and her soul, and she's completely empty now. So she was not gonna react, and she was very still. And I remember when we did this, I didn't animate her reacting at all when he approached her in this. We had this, and I mean, I thought that's what they wanted, but then they told me, I mean, it's fine, but I think if he's gonna point at her so aggressively, maybe we should give her a little bit of a reaction. So we animated separately these frames of the reaction. This was a separate shot, and it was just simply having her flinch slightly to the back, but at the same time I had to keep it mellow because she doesn't have any passion anymore inside of her. Artistic disagreement? Yeah, artistic disagreement. And then I ended up agreeing. It's just like I didn't catch it properly when they told me. I don't know, when I understood, when they told me that she was gonna have no emotion, I went full in, like, all right, she's not gonna have any reaction at all. And that's why, in the end, I feel like I understand that the flinch could help a little bit because it felt too still here. But yeah, you could call it a bit of an artistic disagreement. So in this episode where the infamous cats came from, yes, the cats are here too, but you're not gonna be able to see it. This part I hate. I really hate this part. And there's points, and here's this twist, which was okay. But this jump backwards, I hated this. How it turned out. Because I didn't have too many frames to reach the point, and also this puppet was incredibly heavy. So we had like a big iron rig going back here and carrying the puppet up and down when he jumped, but the jump felt very clunky. I never liked this. I remember I didn't like this, but they told me it was fine and that we should keep it, even though I wanted to repeat it. I think it was a very long shot, so if we went back, we might have to repeat the whole thing, and this is probably 1 week of work. But yeah, so this jump back, I really don't like it. It feels clunky, it feels weird. He's out of focus here. Can you see how soft he is right here? And I don't know, it feels weird. It's this bit, exactly. Just the jumps back, and I ran out of time, so I had to jump straight to the other pose. Also that movement back, I don't love it, but it's okay. And there's the cats. They're coming next, I think. No. This one. Yeah, these are the cats that made my life incredibly hard when we were animating this. These are the infamous cats that were made as a very quick afterthought, and they ended up having so many shots. These ones were so hard to. I remember that I had to put needles through all their paws so that they would stay stuck together. Yeah, probably. I mean, I know it's stuff that only I could notice and get fixed on, but I don't know. It's like one of those gripes that still is. It feels like it's not great, but it doesn't. It's barely noticeable when you see the whole episode. I'm just sad about like 1.5 seconds of animation in the middle that feels weird, and I wish I could change and make it feel a little bit more fluid, but it is what it is. Also here, I made these cats, and I remember having to make them dance here. And so I put the needles through all of their paws so they could move like as a single unit. This poor guy's falling. And then, oh, this is another one that I really. It doesn't have to do with the shot, but I remember because of continuity, I have the cats animated here, and they told me, well, because you have them here, we need to animate them also here in the next shot because they should be in this couch back here. So I ended up animating them separately, and these ones were incredibly hard to animate because it was so far away. Like, I remember I had to crawl on top of the set and be very careful of not stumbling with any of all the props that are on the set. And I had to animate these guys, and at the same time I had to animate the cats. Not at the same time, we animated them. We did a separate animation, and they were composited. Well, they were supposed to be composited here, but I remember I did animate them here. And it was a very long time because I couldn't animate like a single loop because the camera moves. And in order to have the movement of the camera match, I had to fully animate this very long shot with the cats here, just lying down, moving their tail, and I don't know, like going up and down, that sort of very simple thing, but it was very hard because it was a very awkward place to animate, and it was a very, very long shot. And I ended up doing it, and in the end, they didn't add them in the final shot, so they're not there. They just disappear. They were right there on the couch, and then they just poof, vanish. No cats. This one's a little bit clunky too now that I see it back, but it's fine. It was a very complex shot. In this one I wanted something else, but I thought that I was going to be able to animate the ghost, so because I remember I designed the camera movement for this shot. So I animated the camera myself. This one wasn't automatic. Because of some complications, I had to do this one with the camera itself and just slightly tilting the camera frame by frame and doing everything for the movement. But I didn't get to animate the ghost. So in the end, it's sort of like they tried to figure out however they could the movement of the ghost, but I feel like it doesn't work with the camera movement. It's just it wasn't either designed for one thing or the other. It ended up just being clunky because we ended up working in a very big rush, and yeah, the things went out like just as they were, but we didn't get to talk on how I had planned this movement originally. I mean, it works fine, but I wanted a little bit more twist and dimension. I remember even having to put the focus of the camera moving like back and forth and all that stuff. But yeah, didn't end up working great. It's okay. And this was the last shot. This one was animated by Beto. Do you remember? Well, you remember his voice from the women wearing shoulder pads interview. This was animated by him. This one also took a long time. It's a very hard shot, but it took like 3 weeks or so. Alright, let's see if I don't get blasted for that later on with the video. I don't know, it's just HBO. What could HBO do? Yes, it was a little bit of that. We were in a very, very big rush when we were close to the end of the production, so it had to be done like just however we could. So I understand that it ended up being a little bit messy, but I still don't forgive them for not putting the cats in. That's the only one that I feel like no, they were already there. It shouldn't have been very hard to put them in, but well. So yeah, I don't know. Where was I talking? Yeah, because of all those like tiny little things that only I notice, and probably I'll be the only one who carries the pain of seeing that every time I watch the episode. But it's fun. It's part of the charm. And also because I've had that enough times, I know that I can go, I can roll with the things that I find weird. I mean, there might be a level where I think, okay, this animation is unacceptable, but I feel like animation is, like, stop motion in general is very forgiving when it comes to that. If you see like the original Rankin Bass animations, all those old ones, they're full with defects, which I don't blame them. They had to animate stop motion on film, like an actual film. There was no going back. It was just taking a picture and rolling with it, and there's no way back. So, but yeah, I feel like part of the artistic license that stop motion grants is that there's a lot of wiggle room for that sort of little mistakes and movements, and it's part of the texture it gets. Thanks for sharing your pain. Now I can appreciate the episode even more. Invisible cats exist. Yeah, I'm not sure if they ended up adding them, because the little note there that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to jail for telling you is that so this is the original version, the one that came out like the very first, when the show very first came out, which was what, I think 2021 or something. But they actually redid a lot of the visual effects work later. So when they did that and they republished the episodes in HBO Max, now Max, I think they changed a lot of stuff and they fixed a lot of like masks and rigs and that sort of stuff. And I'm not sure if during that fix they managed to actually add the cats back into the shot. In my days as a musician, time clock was a huge enemy, and not including your cats would be like cutting someone's guitar. Yes, it was something like that. I feel like it was a little bit weirder because there was like a different relationship between the like the VFX department and the animation department. We didn't have control over it because, yeah, I mean, I simply worked in the animation. I threw everything to the production team and post and just prayed for the best. But there was no even a bridge of communication for us to say, oh yeah, remember this part of the cats should be here or something. And yeah, I don't blame them. It's just we were running a lot with the finishing on time and all that stuff. I understand it was a very chaotic time. But, well, it turned out. We managed to pull it together. And, yeah, now here it is. And coming soon, the new movie is going to come out. So let's see how that one does. I don't know anything about the special effects in the movie. I'll see if they turned out all right, or if they didn't remove any special thing that I had in the background or in another shot. But you'll probably be the first to know if that happens. But yeah. So, I don't know. you'll eventually know that there's always small problems here and there that, especially when you're doing such complex things, like, there's so many different elements in these characters that there's just no way to control all of them perfectly. But in the end product works great. It feels really good. It feels very natural. It feels interesting. So yeah, I like how it turned out anyways. But well, so yeah, that's... I don't know what to do now. Is there anything else you'd like to see, like to talk about? We already saw the animation. So for next weekend, I was planning on animating a couple of clips that I have with the pipe, and I feel like we're probably gonna be able to pull them off. I feel like they might not be as hard as the other one because it's gonna be a little bit farther shot. The Boogeyman took a while because he was one of the first puppets to actually start. They began working on it. Like, yeah, he was one of the very first things they started working on, especially the skeleton inside, because they really were trying to sort out how to make such a complex creature with 4 arms and 4 legs and the tail and mouth and all that stuff. I do feel like it might have taken maybe, because they were working on it during the lockdown. They made and like there were a couple of guys who they were the only ones who went to the workshop, and they worked all through the whole lockdown. Yeah, probably like 4 or 5 months, I guess. But they were all very few people, again because of lockdown. So it was worked in very few people worked on this one at the very beginning, and then when lockdown started to get a little bit looser, more people started to come in. They could already like split jobs a little bit better between painting and clothes and like props and different assets. They could start to loosen up a little bit. But I remember most of the work at the beginning was like, I think they were 2 people only. 2 or maybe 3 people. Let's find another David Firth stop motion I had mixed up with being the same as the other one we watched. We could have a look at it. If you throw it in the stop motion channel, we could take a look. Is it the same style, like very chaotic, very crazy, experimental sort of thing, or is it any different flavor? Because another thing I like about David Firth is that even though the mood might be similar in many of his projects, there's also like a lot of diversity in the style. Sometimes it can be realistic, sometimes it can be very cartoony, sometimes it can be, there we go. It does feel like the same style. A Day in Hell, 2003, wow. All right, let's take a look. Content warnings, violence, and loud noises, cool.
Wix es tu oportunidad para contar tu propia historia a través.
Yeah. Okay. So this didn't get us in trouble last time, so... Day in Hell. You know, I feel like thinking that this was made in 2003, even this simple glitch effects probably did take some work to do. I'm not sure if this was... I mean, there was probably digital here, but even so, like, that sort of effects weren't... Like, there wasn't a template out there for you to grab and simply drag and drop and make the glitch animation work. It's a cool design. Cool. What was that? Have the power to see. This is a subliminal message. I see you. Cool. I like that effect. Playing with the candles, like one after the other. We could probably do an animation like this one with the Vital made of plasticine. Just poking him and having it sort of tear into pieces. Whoa, no way frame by frame viewing was an easy thing back when that's all I know. That's just yeah, no, probably not. I don't know, I mean, was this originally uploaded to YouTube? I'm not sure if YouTube was around in 2003. Or maybe this got added later. Let's see, what have we got here? Okay, I see you again. And an inverse. Was original on his website. Okay. Bye. Well. What have we got here? Go back. More I see you. It's a very silly subliminal message. It's a very simple face just saying I see you. Also, I feel like most of the horror in David Firth comes from his use of sound. Like very erratic, very loud noises out of nowhere. Like jump scares without the visual. Just simple. Ah! Attack new rounds. Firth is a madman. His works on the opposite side of the spectrum than Hertzfield. Hey. Yeah, Salad Fingers also has very crazy noises. Yeah, the thing with this sort of stuff is that I feel like the blood and stuff loses its punch once you've seen it a couple of times, and because the acting is very simple, you don't really believe that there's like the violence doesn't feels more comical rather than, even though there might be a lot of blood and splatter everywhere and that sort of stuff, but it doesn't feel fully like grotesque or painful at all. It's just like, okay, it's edgy, cool. Firth. I don't know when I found Firth. It was much later then. Because I remember seeing like the thumbnail of Salad Fingers, but never clicking it. And I ended up looking at it, I don't know, maybe in 2015 or something. Yeah, so I feel like the most disturbing part is actually the sound, not really. I mean, the imagery is out there, but it's not as impactful if it doesn't move fully, like it's in pain, like it's actually hurting. So yeah. Also, like this appearing out of nowhere, the very large teeth. It does have like a little bit of an effect of, but it ends up being like so much so fast that at least to me it ends up registering just like an annoying sound. Also, there's like not having any weight in the movement of the slash, just like up down up down. It's like a sculpture. Doesn't feel as fully as like having a complete swing and having the body like move towards. It feels like the intention and the actual trying of harm, the attempt to actually harm, it's more evident if you actually have like a more not complex, where more articulated movement, so it feels like you're taking advantage of your whole body to inflict pain. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that moves really well. I really like how this guy moves. It's kind of misunderstood. I mean, there is. I mean, 2003. He probably was getting started with animation. I mean, this is even before Salad Fingers, right? So I'm not like trying to be mean with him. I'm just trying to analyze the animation and stuff. I know this guy's a great animator, so I don't feel bad like talking critically about previous work, because I know this is not like I don't know. I'm not trying to put him down. I'm just trying to find like all those little details and stuff, because I know Dave the Fifth is great, and he's worked a lot in a lot of time. I'm not sure if this is like something of back when he was in school, maybe a little. I'm not even sure if he studied animation or if he's just like full indie and did all the crazy stuff by himself from the beginning. Theory sort of excuse drug driven. It could also definitely be drug driven. Yes, that is true. Yes, well, it has a little bit of that feeling, right? Like the Garden of Heavenly Delights and that sort of thing, where characters feel a little bit off, and that's an actual depiction of hell. Like characters are just doing things, but you don't feel like if they're sad or angry or suffering. It's just like the figures are doing the stuff, but there's not much for you to entangle out of it. Pretty sure his stop motion was around his college days, but pointing out there is his educational. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm not trying to bring him down or anything. It's just I like the breakdown of animation, and I feel like he would probably be fine with me not being like me finding like all those little things in the animation. Also, this is the kind of video where almost everything that I'm saying could be dismissed with no, it's an artistic choice, so it's most likely, I mean, it's so abstract that there's just no way of arguing against that, you know. Positive, his music video for Girl Voice song was described as college submission. I didn't see that one. Girl Boy Song. Multi-video footage, only a little stop motion. Okay, interesting. Let's try and see, look for that one. Girl Boy. David Firth. I didn't find it. Three Skins Without Man, Six trailer. Yeah, no, can't find that one. You know who's also like a good artist that I really liked looking at back when I was in school? And he isn't even a stop motion animator, but it's a 3D animator that I really love his stylish work. I'm not sure if he has anything short enough for me to show you. Well, his name is David O'Reilly, and he made this really cool short films. Maybe we could watch one someday, but they're a little bit long. They're like there's one that's 10 minutes long, and there's another one that's 20 minutes long. But he's a very good 3D artist that worked with like very stylish, very simple designs. And if you ever saw Adventure Time, he actually animated a 3D episode of Adventure Time, and it has all this really weird assets, and he's got this very stylish look. He strayed a little bit away from this. I remember the last time I checked, which was way back. What was the last time I saw anything on David O'Reilly related? It was in probably around the lockdown, but he was starting to do very weird experiments with AI. Before it got like very popular, he was making AI stuff, and I don't know, he's got a very interesting portfolio. But he made the Adventure Time episode, and he has this also, this sort of a little bit creepy style, but he's really good with style. Very simple style, but it feels uncanny. And I loved back then having something in 3D that wasn't trying to be Frozen or something like that. I was actually playing with the very simple style of 3D animation. But yeah, this is from the Adventure Time episode, I believe. Also, Girl Boy Song is by Aphex Twin, so maybe Higher Risk of Blasting. Oh, okay, so it was the one that I was looking at. Alright, maybe I could check it out later. Maybe first early stuff, I'll still on Flat Pie, I haven't kept up. You ever finished The Meadow Man? I don't know. One of the creepiest bits from Adventure Time. Yes. Yeah, but he has another cool animation. So the one I like the most is one short called Please Say Something. Again, because to me this was very interesting back when I was studying and everyone was trying to make like Disney style, very barely realistic looking. Because once you try to think back to how things were, yeah, like what was it, 15 years ago or something. I mean, Frozen 1, if you look at it today, it feels weird. It doesn't look as perfect. And it's still pretty good, but I mean, back then it was the best thing out there, and everyone was trying to do the same porcelain figure, pretty not stop motion, 3D animation, and I didn't like that. And then Spider-Verse came, and when Spider-Verse came, finally, 3D animation started to experiment a little bit outside of the box. But before Spider-Verse, there was this sort of very simple 3D animation of Please Say Something. And it was David O'Reilly who made this really, really great. I really loved all his work because it played a lot with 3D, but it was very stylish. I mean, look at this. It's just like the wind is made with tiny lines that are floating in 3D and going back, and it gives you this sensation of the movement and the speed of the wind. The ears are pulling back, but they're simple characters. The style in the background, it feels like it's sort of breaking the 3 dimensions, and it's like surreal how they move. Look at the perspective here. It's like very isometric. It looks like yeah, like I don't know, like a layout sketch, not really as a full animation sort of thing, but it works. It's like a very stylish, very pretty thing. I really love this short. And yeah, it plays a lot with different little effects, like it cutting down. This, the morning, the sensation of the morning itself here with just a simple gradient from pink to gray. Yeah, I just love the style in this short. This is just great. I saw a thumbnail in your suggested video at the end of the hair rating animation. The Adventures of Mark Twain. Oh yes, I've seen The Adventures of Mark Twain. I haven't seen the full movie now that I think about it, but I know there's like this clip that's very famous. Like it's I don't know, it's an angel or a devil or something that's telling the children something weird, interrogants, questions about life and stuff, but I've never seen the full movie. Maybe I should take a look at it. I don't know where I could find it, but probably you can find it maybe in YouTube or in the high seas maybe. This one's also really good. Ryan. No, is this the one I'm thinking? This is a documentary. Ignore the ad. This is a documentary, but at the same time it's a 3D animation, and it's a man that's trying to interview a very good animator that sort of lost track of his way because he got too hooked up with drugs and stuff. And the way they made the interpretation is that everyone in the asylum where the drugs, well, the addicts are trying to recover, they all have like very weird models and glitches and distortions, and it feels uncanny and creepy and weird. And the animator himself, like, he's all broken and torn into pieces, and just he seems like a computer glitch. But also at the same time, the interviewer has his own fair amount of defects, but at least seems like he's a little bit more functional than all the people that's in the... Yeah, like, look at him. They just really made they shared a lot, like, the feeling of them being broken and probably trying to recover, but I really love the artistic choice here of making them so uncanny. And also, this is also back before people started to actually experiment with 3D. And look at some other Juxto videos, they're pretty short. Is that the one that got me blasted? Seeing that infamous clip of Mark Twain movie. The whole of the movie is pretty good, but that one scene of the devil stands out. Yeah, I remember it was a very, very cool scene. But maybe I could try and take a look and find it. I think someone sent on me. Oh yeah, it's the Aphex Twin. Alright, let's try and check this out. I'm gonna try and do pausing a lot just to make sure I don't get blasted again. It's a good exercise for me to start figuring out how to move through this world of YouTube. Alright, we have a little bit of music here, so I'm gonna be extra careful. But I really like the design, like playing with the texture of different materials, and I like that back, like this, I don't even know what sort of carved wood this is, but I like the texture it gives. It feels like much more as a decoration rather than just random stuff put together. Like those simple, silly character designs, like just one blob. And the shots are always fun, like making transitions between one character and the other and just merging and squishing and squashing plasticine into another shape. Ah, that's really cool. Let's see what we got here. A bunch of faces. Hey, this guy's from Hell. I remember him. I saw him in Hell. Ryan sort feels unfamiliar. I wonder if I've seen it reviewed or something before. I don't know. By the way, I'll throw that in the Discord just in case you want to take a look at it, because it's a really good short. I really love the style and the madness in that, and also the fact that it's a real story, because they show you I'm not sure if they show you the pictures of the actual Ryan, like the real life Ryan, and they also show you the animations that he worked on before he became an addict and that sort of stuff. It's a really cool short film. I like this one a lot. And also said, so the Please Say Something. Let me see if I can find a higher resolution version of Please Say Something, because Please Say Something. Yeah, I think this one. But yeah, I'll take a look at them later maybe, but those are also probably my favorite 3D animation shorts. But alright, let's get back to where we were. Where is it? Oh, did I close it? No, it's here. Yeah, I remember that guy from the One Evening in Hell short. Alright, let's see. Moving back and also playing with the other guy from Hell. You will never see this was their favorite Aphex. Oh, really? In a stream? Huh. What is this? Mask between other masks. I like how the franticness of this helps like follow the beat of the battery. Hey. Just them hanging out. Cool. Just waving hi. And we have a house. Response to asking her if she liked the song Come to Daddy by Aphex, but not sure I'm remembering correctly. I don't know. You usually remember correctly, though, think. Especially when it comes to Evil and Neurostreams. That's really comfy energy, yeah. Definitely a very different energy from the Evening in Hell one, right? Whose face was that? Oh, okay. Can't do that anymore. I don't know. I love the little guy just playing the drums with anything. Is that a hanging? No, it's just... It feels like a hanging person, like a hanging body. Oh, that's cool. How did they do this? What is this? Let's go back here. There was something. One phone. Oh god. I can't read that. Giant fake hand. It's time lapse of a cactus plant growing, maybe? I don't know if it's a cactus plant because it's going up. And I don't know how it's probably got like some sort of effect for it to look like it's glowing. Because I wouldn't think, I don't know, it's a very weird effect. It does feel organic, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's a real plant, honestly. Okay. Oh, the guy got sad. Oh. Maybe the idea came up with LSD, but I'm not sure if you can actually make it under the effects. So I'm not sure if I feel like most likely he actually reused the assets from this video to make the one in Hell. And there we have her hanging up again. Hang in there. Oh, I didn't see this comments back here. By Vinheim, just stopped to wish your internet well this time. Now, yes, it's been better now. I sort of sorted that stuff out. I'm probably this Vinheim already left, but yeah, internet's better, right? Haven't seen any issue. Senior Osama's model bounce, dancing to the sun. It would be fun to make something more experimental like this. However, you have to be careful because if you try and make like this sort of time lapses where there's like a lot of different poses, if you try to make it as if it were animation, it ends up damaging the puppet a lot because you're going very far from one pose to another and it's like forcing the wires a lot. So I wouldn't risk doing that sort of thing because I feel like it could damage the body a lot. Maybe only with the face or something, playing with faces, that could work. Let's see. I love like not knowing where or what's going on. It's just so much movement, but it feels interesting. It's just like different spaces, different places, different characters, but no, not really a reason for anything. Just stuff happening. This is the giant hand that they had before, right? but with a little distort effect. It feels like that well, no, not a short film, that meme of the potion seller and the weak knight that cannot handle the potions. Potion seller, I need your strongest potions. You cannot handle my strongest potions, traveler. My strongest potions are for the strongest warriors, and you're clearly not one of them. There's the phone. Oh, just through karaoke to the mall. That would be fun. They probably could make some sort of compilation out of all the movements they make. Like you could just accelerate all their moving from one side to the other. Maybe we can sort it out eventually. I'll just have to think about it. I think it could be possible to do, but it would have to be done. I would probably try to make a couple of fixes first before. It would probably be maybe once we have Nero done, maybe in that break we could also try and make a couple of fixes to Evil, just like the neck stuff and all that. This poor guy's been hanging there all video. And this was something that he did for college, because it's really well made. I mean, it's experimental and stuff, but it's... I've seen college projects that are way less produced than this. Puppets are ready to retire as... Maybe. I honestly wouldn't like the puppets to retire. I would like to have them be sturdy enough to survive for a while, but they will probably eventually have to give the wear and tear. Eventually they'll end up giving in to the wear and tear, so let's see. Alright, I hope the silence doesn't get me blasted. Okay.
Alright.
Nope. So many ads. Blah, blah. Alright. Alright. Well, I don't know. It was a bit of a weird stream. I'm not sure. Is there anything else you'd like you would like us to check? Or I think we could start wrapping things up for tonight, but I could still spend a little extra time if there's something to watch. When the puppets are ready to retire, yeah, maybe, but I don't want to think about them retiring anytime soon. It's like I want them to last forever, but we'll see. That's another thing that I need to work on. I need to try and sort like the best ways to make the puppets live as long as possible, just so they actually last me for, more than 2 minutes of video. I would like them to actually be able to work for a long time, because there's also I would like to have them around once I get to do another puppet. Like if I ever got to make, I don't know, Camila or something, it would be fun to have them interact together and not to have one puppet dead and only the other one working. I would like to, once I have more of them, to actually be able to make them interact between them. But I feel like I'm going too far ahead of myself. Let's keep on working on the ones we have right now and see how it goes from there. But I would love to have them last for a while. But yeah. So I guess we could start wrapping up for tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, check out? I'm going to try to sort things out. I would like to make another stream on Friday. I wouldn't know exactly what, but probably plan something tomorrow. Same sort of vibe, like something very simple, something very relaxed. Just spend some time talking, looking at stuff, hanging out, and yeah, preparing, because Saturday I'm not sure exactly, but most likely Saturday, maybe even both days. I still don't know how my weekends planning to be right now, but if everything's all, if I have the time and nothing else to do and I'm well rested enough, I think I could go for a double stream this weekend just to push forward with animation as much as possible. But before that, yeah, I'll see what we can do on Friday in the meantime. But, well, other than that, I'm not sure what else to do tonight. I guess we could just start wrapping things up, and should be good for now. Getting late-ish too. Yes, also I've been starting to stream a little bit later, but it's because I've had to struggle a bit with the sort of arranging times with some other things, but yeah, eventually we'll get a better schedule. Right now it's been a lot of changes here and there, but don't worry, we'll get there. But yeah, okay, so let's wrap it up. It's also getting a little bit late. But thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Really enjoy all of this fun stuff and things that we share. Take a look at, if you have any spare time in your week, try to look at the short film Please Say Something or Ryan. Both of them, they're great. They're really, really great. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope to see you next Friday, and let's get ready for our new stream next. What is it? Yeah, during the weekend, and see how much animation we managed to pull out this time. It's gonna be fun. In the meantime, yeah, I think that could be enough for today. So thanks for watching. Had fun. I always love doing the streams. And yeah, I don't know. I shall do. Yeah, bye now, everyone. Yeah, bye everyone. See you later on. So I'm gonna go to the end screen, and let's see. Yeah. Okay. So see ya. See you on Friday if you manage to make it there. Bye bye.
The blurry silhouette, I wonder, when you look at me, who do you remember? Broken memories, time we spent together. Tell me honestly, do you recognize my voice? Thin air, so hard to breathe. The wall that I'm facing is just too cold and so lonely. Wish that I still can feel the things back then I used to fear. All I ever wanted was to be accepted by you. Wish that you and I still laugh and say that someday we will. Why won't you listen to me anyway? I'm gonna be and I'm not gonna say I'm sorry just to save face. Whatever you think of me, leave it alone. I don't wanna live in the shade of her throne. Oh, I keep hearing pieces of a melody playing in my head. Fragments of a past that it won't let me forget. Someone that I used to be hanging on a thread. A blurry silhouette, I wonder, when you look at me, who do you remember? Broken memories, time we spent together. Tell me honestly, do you recognize my voice? It looks so off to me, the picture you paint of us. I don't need to remember, let me be, take me just as I am.